With gadgets like smartphones costing in excess, you might not have much left to spend on a laptop. Whatever your reason, budget laptops that are worth having are hard to find. But the Lenovo Ideapad S340 has a lot to offer for not much money at all, if you're okay with its downsides. MWC might be largely about phones, but we've also got a range of new laptops from Lenovo that look interesting. The Ideapad S340 could be your new budget-friendly go-to laptop. Before we start, go ahead and subscribe. Also, press the bell button to get the latest updates. Without any further delay, let us start. Choosing a laptop SKU model is hard enough at the best of times, but the S40 comes in both AMD and Intel variations. Official pricing starts at just $329 for the cheapest AMD model, which comes with a Ryzen 3 processor. You can then jump to a Ryzen 5 or 7 with other upgrades for $499 or $599. Either way, these are all very cheap and affordable laptops. Over on the Intel side of the fence, you can get a Pentium Gold model at $349, with a number of different Core i3, 5, and 7 models, reaching up to a not-so-budget $749. These are all best laptops, and as usual, we can't test them all. But we have the cheapest one of the lot with the AMD models under the S40 14 API model name. Lenovo makes things quite confusing with an S340 Chromebook version, but we are reviewing the Windows 10 model here. The Ideapad S340 has a plastic build with a carbon fiber threads weaved into it. You really would not know to look at the device though, which is a shame, not that we expect proper carbon fiber at this price. In theory, it makes the plastic stronger, but the S340 has an aluminum finish on the lid, which is nice. This laptop is not particularly thin or light, but Lenovo still calls it ultra thin. At 17.9mm thick, we wouldn't say this fits with that description. Part of the design makes the S340 appear to be thin, but it is simply an illusion. The 14-inch model is 1.55 kg, while the 15-inch jumps to 1.8 kg. Again, not headline-grabbing figures, but this is a budget laptop. A new design feature is the TrueBlock Privacy Shutter, which allows you to physically cover the webcam should you feel the need. This has trickled down from the ThinkPad range, which is good to see. The slider is a little fiddly to use though, and it is not overly obvious it is even there. We took a look at the Sand Pink model, but you can also get the S340 in Onyx Black, Abyss Blue, and Platinum Gray. We like the optionally backlit keyboard, which has a springy and responsive feel with enough travel to satisfy. There are some annoyingly small keys in places though, such as the up and down arrows which take up the space of one normal key. There are at least some function keys along the top, so you can easily adjust things like screen brightness. If it swings it for you, the 15-inch model has a 10-key numeric keypad on the side. The trackpad is not especially large, but works reasonably well. It can be a little unresponsive at times, but nothing serious, and overall it works perfectly well with decent palm rejection. It requires some pressure to register a click, but this is not a surprise at this price. The display has bezels 20% smaller than previously, and you'll be able to choose from a 14 or 15.6-inch size. They will come in Full HD with optional touch and IPS. The model we tested was 14 inches, which is a nice size, and the bezels around the display are surprisingly small for a laptop this cheap. However, the quality is clearly a sign of where costs have been kept down. You'll have to accept that buying the S340 means pretty poor viewing angles, and the display isn't that bright either, capping at 215 CD per m square in our test with Lenovo claiming 250. Colors are also pretty washed out and contrast is poor too, with blacks looking closer to gray. This is even when viewing dead-on, so this screen is not good if you need to do tasks like edit photos or want to watch films in decent quality. Some more expensive models come with an IPS screen, so look for those in the specs if this is important. Therefore, the screen will not provide a great experience for watching Netflix, and neither will the speakers. They are quintessentially cheap, 2-watt laptop fodder, so they sound muddy and lack in bass. There is Dolby Audio, so you can choose between movie, game, voice, and music modes. It does improve the soundstage a little, but there's only so much you can do with poor speakers, so you're better off plugging in some headphones here. As we've mentioned, there are Intel and AMD versions of the Ideapad S340 with a large number of options without even including the 15-inch models. On the AMD side, there's a Ryzen 3, 5, or 7 to choose from. Simple. Intel starts at the Pentium Gold but goes up to a 10th Gen Core i7. However, most of the models use 8th Gen chips. You're also looking at integrated graphics, but if you want something extra to help with video editing, for example, then the Core i7-8565U has an NVIDIA GeForce MX 250 GPU. Our Ryzen 3 model comes with just 4GB of RAM, but while Lenovo says you can get up to 12GB, the other models in the range have 8GB. On the storage front, you get a 128GB SSD at the very least, with 256 and 512GB also available on other models. As you can see in the chart below, the S340 we tested lags behind in the performance benchmark tests. The Ryzen 3 3220U is, as you would imagine, at the basic end of the chip market with 2 cores and a 2.6 GHz clock speed. Combined with the 4GB of RAM, you're going to be limited to basic tasks and will not have much capacity for multitasking. This is totally understandable for this very low price. But it might be worth jumping to the Ryzen 5 or 7 models, or an Intel model if you need more beefy performance. The amount of ports on offer here make up for things like the lacking display somewhat. You get 2 USB-A ports, a USB-C port, full-size HDMI, a separate power input, headphone jack, and a 4-in-1 SD card reader, many of which are rare these days, especially when splashing out on a flagship laptop. So if you hate the idea of being forced to use a USB-C dongle, then the S340 will be a real boon. When it comes to battery, Lenovo promises the AMD model will offer up to 8 hours and Intel getting up to 10. However, in our standard test, looping a HD video at 120 CD/m² screen brightness and unusually high 70% in this case resulted in a very immersive 14 hours and 26 minutes. Furthermore, rapid charge tech means from just a 30-minute charge, we found the S340 topped up to 50%. So that's very handy if you don't have long to give it some juice before heading out. As we thought when we first saw the S340 for an initial play, Lenovo has made one of the best budget laptops on the market. It is so affordable, yet looks really nice, has a decent keyboard, loads of handy ports, and amazing battery life too. Of course, performance is limited to basic tasks, but there are more powerful models of this laptop available if you need more grunt. The biggest letdown, like a lot of budget laptops, is the display, which is very basic. Look for an IPS model if this will get on your nerves. That is all for today, folks. Tell us in the comment section about your point of view. See you soon with another amazing video.